Hello, good afternoon. So I'm just sitting on my floor in my lounge doing a bit of work, as you do, and I thought I'd hop on and do a quick live answering a question that we had in this group earlier today. So yesterday I shared that I found a bit of a kink in the issue with MailChimp, and I use my MailChimp to obviously send out my emails, but just as importantly, not just my weekly newsletters, I also use MailChimp to have my sales funnel set up. So yesterday I just shared, hi Aaron love, I just shared that I found a bit of an issue with the fact that it wasn't triggering that first email, and I just shared what I found the answer to be. So then Siobhan then commented on that post and said, great, I really want to grow my email list. How can I do that? So I thought I'm going to come on and I'm going to share a few ways, actually quite a few ways, 17 different ways that you can grow your email list. So we've talked before, I've done videos before talking about the importance of why you need to be building your email list, and also what sort of how you would get people on your list, as in what are you going to provide for them that there's an actual real compelling reason for them to sign up. So therefore your freebie, your opt-in, your lead magnet, and then you can obviously have your sales funnel. Lots of people hate that term. I don't know if it's the sales or the funnel or both. But again, the whole point of that is not just to go and spam these new subscribers, but literally to build your relationship with your ideal client, but outside of social media or just your website, for instance. So I've covered that. If you're interested in that, then have a search in the search bar and you'll be able to find videos. But today is literally 17 different places that you can show up and you can be sharing your opt-in. You can be sharing what's called a landing page. So a landing page is a space on your website, or maybe you have it hosted somewhere else, like even MailChimp or Lead Pages, that will literally give some information as to what people are signing up for, why they're handing over their email address. It's not enough anymore, like we've mentioned before. You can't just say sign up for my my newsletter. Like, who wants to do that? They want to know what they're signing up for. So the landing page is the place where they're going to add their name and their email. So let's talk about some places that you could actually share that, show up with that to get more people on your list. So it's no particular order. I've just kind of come up with 17 that I wanted to share. So it doesn't mean the ones that I mentioned first are more popular or work better. Just all of these ways are really effective. So the first way that I've put that you can absolutely build your list, your email list, is if you're doing any talks. So more and more people, and I'm working with clients as well, are going out and working with people in their local community, being the guest expert as such. Now that is the perfect place for you to say at the end what you have on offer, this free thing that's going to help them to get on your list, but also help them to see you as the expert. So when you're hosting an event, make sure you have a really clear call to action for them to sign up for your email list. But again, tell them why, tell them what they're getting, give them the juicy benefits they're going to get from signing up. So that's the first one. The second one is you can use your business cards if you are, again, going out and networking and working locally, or sharing your business cards. Local salons, a lot of my clients put theirs in, even if they're, life coaches. I've seen a lot of life coaches having great success just showing up and sharing their business cards locally. So use that. Now, the only issue with that is people worry. They think, well, if I've got a business card and I've just got one URL on it, and what if I then change it? So what I always recommend people do is, if you are going to put something that feels more permanent out there, then just create a general page on your website that would then have a list of your different opt-ins. So for instance, as you know, I have got I'm part of a book, the MIBA book, the Mumpreneur on Fire book. So the link that I gave at the bottom of that chapter, when someone reads it, is I thought I'm not just going to give my current opt-in, because again, what if someone buys this in 3 years' time and it no longer works? So I've just sent them to a link on my website that's got different opt-ins on there. So you could just have a generic one, and it means when you change it, the link will still work. So hosting an event, business cards. Also thinking about doing some kind of giveaway. More and more people are doing that. My top tip for that is, if you are going to do a giveaway and you're going to join some other people, with a similar kind of ideal client to you, just make sure that it's something that your ideal client would really want. Otherwise, you're going to just start attracting people just for the free thing. So for instance, if you had a whole group of people, hi Siobhan, this is for you, my love. If you had a whole group of people as part of this giveaway, and you had so many that you could, literally give away an iPad in exchange for people joining the list, all you're going to end up doing is just drawing people to you, bringing people onto your list, which is really exciting, but they're not actually interested in you. They're interested in that free thing. So if you're going to do a giveaway, make sure it's something linked to your services and your industry. Top tip for that. The other thing you need to make sure that you're doing is think about optimizing your website for your opt-in, okay? So don't just have it hidden away, or I've seen, right at the bottom of the footer of your website where people are talking about their freebie. Think about placing it throughout your website. I have mine, literally I've got my photo at the top that tells people, who I am, and it's got a picture of me, and then right underneath I've got my details for my opt-in, so they can literally fill it in there. Think about other places that would work really well to have your opt-in details on there. Then following on from that is make sure that you're using your blog. So I have quite a few different opt-ins actually, but even if you only have one, you can still do this. So if I'm writing a blog about a certain topic, and I've got an opt-in to grow that would again grow my email list, I will at the bottom of that blog say, want to know more, or I think you'll love this, it's completely free, and again I put the sign up on that blog post there and then, so they haven't got to click off anywhere else. They can just read through the blog, and then the next step is, oh, she's already given me some great content, I really love this blog, I'm going to sign up for this freebie too. So that's a really great way of building your list, but obviously you have to have people on your website. Then that leads us on to what I'm always saying, which is social media. So use social media to help support you. Don't bombard people and always only talk about your freebie. Obviously, you're showing up with different tips and tricks and branded images that are going to work to reflect what you do. But don't be afraid to then ask people to sign up. Don't be afraid to have it in all of your bios, telling people what this free resource is. Because let's remember, it's free, right? It is free as long as you're really clever about the wording that you use, so people will understand what they're getting from you. Then if they're your ideal clients, then they're going to want to hand over their email and get that free resource that you've created. The next thing you could do is a joint venture. Now that can be quite big, can be as big as you want it to be. It could be something like a telesummit, which is where one person hosts and they get lots of other people involved, and then every day over maybe a couple of weeks, someone will go and either do a video or share a resource. And what that means is that every single person that's part of that telesummit will have access to whoever signs up for the general telesummit. Every single person will then get those email addresses. But the requirement for that is obviously you will already need to have people on your email list, because you're going to then be emailing about this telesummit to those readers. So again, if everyone does that, if you think there's 10 people, everyone's sending information about this telesummit out to their readers, then more likely to have more people sign up, and then everyone that signs up, people get those access to their emails. So again, really important that you're only going to be joining something like that where people are going to be reflecting what your ideal clients are looking for. So think about who else is serving your ideal client that doesn't do the exact same thing as you, but is serving them nonetheless. Okay, and there will be people, I can guarantee it. And then again, if you don't want something as big as that, you could collaborate with someone who again does something similar, serving your ideal clients in some way but not exactly the same. And then instead of it having to turn into like a massive telesummit, it could literally just be, she emails out and talks about your freebie. You don't obviously give people access to your email list because that's illegal and also really spammy, even if it wasn't illegal. But actually, you could do the same thing. You can share and you can say, right, I love your freebie. I know my readers would love this, so I'm going to talk about it and I'm going to share a link to my list. So that means that you're helping her or him grow their email list, and then vice versa. So another really lovely way That's worked well for me in the past. The other thing is a pop-up box. So you'll often see that you go onto a website and then, as you're about to scroll through or click off, there'll be a pop-up box that comes up, sometimes called a light box. And the idea from that is it's literally just talking about whatever the freebie is and asking people to sign up. Now, a lot of people don't really like them and they kind of are against them, but they do work really well. And as long as you set it so it doesn't come up the second someone lands on your website, which is just really annoying. It needs to be at a certain time when you think, if they've been on my website for this long, they're obviously interested. So therefore, it's a really clever way of capturing those leads, capturing those email addresses. What have I got next? I made some lists. Oh yes, don't forget your own email. So if you're often emailed people, if they've got any inquiries, at the bottom I always have a link to something. So sometimes it's just a link to my Facebook group. Other times it's actually a link to my opt-in page. So think about that. Your signature at the bottom of your own email list is a really effective way of people that have obviously got in touch with you. They've made an inquiry. They might not have been on your website. They might have just heard from you through word of mouth. So you can't guarantee that they will have actually seen that you've got this great opt-in. So if they're getting in touch with you, it makes sense that they're going to be interested in whatever this freebie is that you have to offer. Also, when you do send out emails, to your list, encourage forwarding. So you have it at the bottom, if you think of someone that would really love this email, please forward it. And then when they forward it, they have a link at the bottom that will say, if you're reading this and you haven't signed up to my list, then click here. And again, just encouraging people that have, birds of a feather flock together. So if people are reading your content and then enjoying your content, they're going to know other people that will also enjoy the content. So that's a really effective way as well. Another one is, especially if you're a product owner. So I know I talk mainly about services because I work mainly with service-based entrepreneurs if I'm working one-to-one. Obviously, all of my group programs work for regardless of what business you have. But if you send out products and you're sending out a receipt, think about how you can actually utilize that. So if you've made up your receipt, you could then have a link at the bottom to say, did you know I have some really, I've got some maybe one-off offers that I only share with my email list. So it means you can offer like a 10% discount or something, so that actually they are joining your list, because just because someone's bought something from you doesn't mean they're on your email list. Okay, what else have we got? I've got a couple more. 1, 2, 3. Oh, loads more. Okay, so invoices. So I don't send out products, but I do send out invoices. So one of the things you could also do is set it up. So again, there's a link. So when someone gets their invoice, then they can sign up for that freebie. That's another potential option. Networking, really, really key as well. Again, think of when you're talking to the people... God, sorry, I've got such a dead leg now. I've got proper pins and needles sitting on the floor like this. So when you're at a networking meeting, I always say the whole point of that is not to just try and get business from someone else. I used to hate going to networking meetings because you get to the point where you think they're either going to come and talk to me and realise I'm not interested and then can't be bothered to talk to me anymore, or you go yourself thinking, this is going to be great, I've got up really early, maybe you've paid some money, and you're thinking, I don't think there's anyone in this room that's a potential client. So you need to think outside the box when it comes to that. Networking isn't about getting those one-to-one clients, it's about connections. So again, you could be saying, I've got this free resource, explain what it is, and say if you know of anyone that would benefit from it, then please send them my way. And that's a really nice kind of soft way of telling them what you do and what you have to offer. And then again, if you've got your business cards, then it's going to make more sense when they get it to actually be able to click through and go on your website. As I've also shared a few months ago, you can use your iPad or even your iPhone if you have, I think it's just iPad, it's not iPhone, iPad. If you have MailChimp has an app, and that app will allow you to go to a networking meeting and people can sign up there and then, give their name and their email address on the app, when there's no Wi-Fi, no connection, and then when you get home, all of those names and those emails that have been added to that app will instantly be synced up, which is really, really effective. I use it when I go networking. I use it when I'm the guest speaker as well. It's just obviously keeping track of where your iPad is so it's safe. So if you're interested in that, on my blog, I literally have talked you through exactly how to set that up. So again, a really effective way. Pinterest is great. Lots and lots of people are using Pinterest because you don't have to pay. Oh, by the way, none of these include any ad spend at all. So that's what I want to get across to so many people. You do not have to be spending a lot of money or any money building your list, building your client base. Yes, you can obviously spend money, but don't spend money until you've tried the free stuff and you know kind of what works, and then put your money into that. So Pinterest is great because Pinterest is not a social media site. Pinterest is basically a search engine. So your ideal client is very likely to be on Pinterest. So think about what she or he would be searching for, and then think about creating, a really eye-catching image graphic that's Pinterest shape as such. You can create that in Canva. That will link through to your landing page, your freebie, your sign up page. I've done that. Again, it works really effectively, especially if you're careful with the keywords that you use. The other thing is making sure that you utilize things like Facebook. Facebook has a call to action button, so make sure that you're using that and make sure that your call to action button is kept up to date. And you can either then, if you're talking about it on Facebook, you can even have it as your cover page. I've seen that work really well. Someone said what the freebie is with a nice picture and a kind of an arrow clicking, sort of linking and directing them to that sign up button on Facebook. So really useful. As soon as someone lands on Facebook, that's one of the first things they see, your picture, and they're going to be seeing that call to action button. So utilize that too. And then the last one is think about being a guest blogger. Really, really effective anyway. Again, like I've already said before, think about who's serving your ideal client, who's already, has a following, has readers that your ideal client is going to be one of those people at least. And then you can show up and you can offer to do like a guest blog post, and then make sure at the bottom of the guest blog post that you do, you have a really strong call to action that just takes them that one click through to that landing page. So there you have it, 17 different ways that you can get people seeing your landing page, getting people signing up to your email list, and not one of them costs you a penny. So it's all about showing up, being visible, telling people why they should sign up for it so that they're really, really excited. So I hope you found that useful. If you are either struggling with what should my freebie be, who is my ideal client, what do they want, and how do I then set up a sales funnel, just know that this is what I love helping people with, either through one-to-one coaching. And again, it doesn't have to be 3 months. If you've been on my website and you're thinking, I don't want the one-off call and I don't want 3 months, I work with people to create bespoke packages. As you all know, I'm pregnant, so literally from sort of middle of April, I'm not going to be taking any more one-to-one clients on anyway. So if you've been thinking about hiring me or interested or just want to find out some more, send me a PM. The other thing I've got is I've actually created a masterclass, a sort of a module, like a bundle altogether, which will talk you through creating your freebie. Obviously you can add on knowing your ideal client, but creating your freebie and then creating a really strong sales funnel with examples of emails, and then the sort of emails that you would actually be able to create. But also it's very hands-on, as in I've created videos or how-to videos, so you can literally watch as I go through and create it and set it up in MailChimp, so it takes all the guesswork out of it. So if you want help with any of this, growing your list, getting in front of a larger audience, or even just working in your mindset to have the confidence to do so, send me a PM. Let's have a chat. You're not obliged to say yes to anything. If you just want to inquire, then I'd love to hear from you. So have a great day, whatever you're doing. I'm off to go shopping for a little bit and then to go and see my lovely niece, who is 7 today, to eat lots of cake. So have a great day. Thanks so much for joining. If you're watching on the replay and if you've got any questions, let me know and I'll speak to you soon. Bye now.